Welcome to Who Let the Dogs Out, the podcast designed to help you enjoy life with your best friend without all the frustrations. Join us each week as we help families across the country do just that. I'm your host, Corey, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Sally.
And today we are actually teaching you how to calm your dog down so that way you actually can enjoy life with your dog without all the frustrations. That's the whole point of today's episode is how do you calm these dogs down? So give them the four kind of big points that we're talking about on this podcast today.
Okay, 4 sections we're talking about. So, number 1, why dogs are hyper.
Okay.
The second one is the base 3 things to do every day with your dog.
Okay.
Practical stuff you can do, and then tools and any extras.
All right. Sounds good. So that's what we're talking about today, overall with the big picture of how to actually calm your dog down. So that's what we're going over today. So stick with us till the end. And for those of you that don't know us, that are newer to the show, my name's Corey. I'm the founder of Wonder Dog Training. We started the first day of 2018. Since then, we trained thousands of dogs and thousands of families across multiple cities, multiple states. And who are you?
I am Sally. I'm administration. I've been with Wonder Dog since 2019 and was a client before that.
And now podcast extraordinaire.
And now podcast, yeah.
Yep, that's it.
I'm an extraordinaire with everything I do.
She is indeed. Can attest. And somebody in the comments of the last episode, which we'll get to in a little bit, also can attest to. And, we'll get to that in a minute. I'm gonna eat that comment I made last week. Okay. Anyways, moving on. So today's episode is what we call a dog talk. That's where we come on and talk about a topic related to dogs, dog ownership, dog training. And I guess you could say today is kind of all three. So that's what we're doing today. We've also got other formats, Q&As. That's where you guys send in the questions and we give you the answers. If you want to send in questions of the show that we answer on one of our Q&A episodes, you can do that by sending them to Sally
at wonderdogtraining.com.
Yep. Or you can drop your comments down below in the podcast episode comment section, wherever it is. We'll see those too. And you can drop your questions there and we'll answer them on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that. What else do we do on this show? I think that's pretty much it. We got a trivia question for you guys today. So trivia question is this. Which dog breed has the longest ears on record measuring over 13 inches each?
I'm thinking it's got to be part of the hound family.
You'd be right. We'll save the answer for the end of the show. So if you want the official answer at the end of the show, stick with us till the end and we'll give you the trivia answer. And one of them had a world record length of ear. So, but we'll answer that at the end of the show. So if you want to hear it, stick around and we'll answer it. I think that's pretty much it. I was going to pull up the comments from last week. Stafford, one of our very consistent listeners and commenters, a former client, he now lives in Hawaii. He asked, hey, Corey and Sally, are you guys going to have a Wonder Dog training in Hawaii? I would love that. I'm actually down to move and start it today. All you have to do is just pay me to move.
Can he stay with you?
Yeah, pay me to move, pay for our flight, and we'll build a business in Hawaii. I'm sure it's great. Actually, I feel like I've got some trainer friends out in Hawaii. So, long term, though, we want to spread all across all 50 states. So, I don't know if there's enough business in Alaska to have one in Alaska, but possibly.
Hey, Stafford, we could train you and you could be Wonder Dog Hawaii.
Yes, possibly. Because as much training as you did with your corgi,
yeah,
or maybe trainer material, who knows? Anyways, but then if you remember last episode, I said, hey, comment down below if you think Sally deserves a raise. And Stafford again commented and he said, raise for Sally. So we'll negotiate that off air.
Stafford.
Yeah, we'll negotiate that one off air. Okay. Well, anyways, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for listening, and commenting. If you want to interact with us, feel free to comment down below. And if you like the show, subscribe. If you get any value out of today's episode, which unless you just have a dog that's lazy and old, you're going to get value out of today's show. So if you get any value out of today's show, you learn anything, share it with a friend, family member, colleague, something like that. That'd mean the world to me and Sally. And I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I guess before we jump into how to calm dogs down, how's Sully doing? Not calm.
Not calm. Not calm at all.
You're going to learn as much today as you get as you hear.
I think we're going through a trying stage where maybe it's like a more adolescent stage where he chooses not to listen. And we're still having some, did I tell everybody about the fence issue?
You did.
Okay, we're still having the fence issue. It just keeps, I think
This guy's got to go build the fence.
I think Sully finds a weakness in the fence panels and like skirts them over and then gets his little fat booty through this small space and then just goes crazy in next door's yard and he didn't want to come back.
Well, why would he? He's having too much fun.
I know.
2 yards in one. I mean,
I know, exploring. I'm sure he's in there pooping as well, and I'm really sorry.
somebody clipped that and said that to the neighbor.
I'm sure he is. I really, because that's what he would do.
Yeah, we need to get that fixed though.
Yeah. But he's so proud of himself when he hops back through and he's all like,
he's like, did you know there's a whole world over there?
I've been on my
There's a whole world.
I've been on my travels.
That's funny.
So he's so bad, but he's cute. I love him to death.
Thank goodness he's cute. I went to somebody's house the other day and they had a really cute dog and they were saying, thank goodness he's cute. I can't remember who it was, but very cute dog, but very naughty, you know? And I was like, I get it. That's what saves him a lot of times.
I know.
So I don't have any updates on Mia other than she's still just a sweet little old lady. And she's got a new nickname, the Drunken Sailor, because she walks like a little drunken sailor. But I did have a funny story that I wrote down in my notes to talk about this week. And so part of Mia having her spinal condition or whatnot is I still take her on walks every day. I just don't take her as far. So like I normally walk her anywhere from like 12 to 18 minutes. It kind of seems to be the sweet spot in the mornings. And anyway, so I'm taking her on a walk. So on Sunday, I get out of church and I go to my parents' house and I bring Mia with me. And I go to take her on and I was about to go on a walk by myself and she's just staring at me through the fence and I'm like, oh, okay, come on. So I grab her and I'm like, well, I'm about to walk 45 minutes. So I was going to make her ride in the wagon. And you bought me the wagon for my birthday and for Mia. And I will say, it's very nice to be able to take her with me. She's very annoying in the wagon, though, because she literally just stands up the whole time. She's leaned so far over the front of it that she's like about to fall out of it the whole time. She won't just sit and lay down because she's, in her mind, there's nothing wrong, right? So she's like, why am I not walking? Why am I riding in this stupid wagon? She's put so much pressure at the front of it. She actually ripped the front part of the wagon. So now it's like literally like her feet are like this far away from the concrete. So I'm going to have to turn anyways. It's a whole thing. But anyways, so we're walking though, and I hear, and I've got my headphones in. They're on like, I think they're on noise cancel mode. Anyways, I hear this dog yapping at me through this fence, and it's this little tiny little dog. And then all of a sudden I walk past the house, and I feel the wagon shift very abruptly, and it's this little dog charging me and Mia, and she's in the wagon. So I pull the wagon over, and I'm like, stay. And so this little dog is running at me, barking and stuff, and I'm going like, you know, talking to it, doing, you know, making sweet kissy noises at it and stuff, trying to get it to come up to me. And the barking's settling down and it's getting sweeter and sweeter and friendlier. And then I'm like, hey, little fella, like, you got to come over here. You're in the middle of the road. Like, unfortunately, it's a quieter street, but I'm like, you're in the middle of the road. You got to go. Like, you got to go home. Anyways, the garage door opens. And I'm like, okay, great. The owner's coming. So then the owner comes out and I start walking towards the owner and the dog's following me. And I didn't want to pick the dog up because I'm like, I don't know the dog. I don't know if the dog likes being picked up and stuff. And it looks like a little weenie, like Yorkie mix or whatnot. And it's got like, I guess like a little bit of like a mangled back leg. Like I think she said it had been hit by a car. So it's like walking, but it's kind of dragging a little bit. Anyways, but every time, so then the owner goes to pick up the dog runs away from the owner. And then I go to pick up the dog and the dog runs away from me. And so the dog's like playing chase. And now the dog's running back towards the wagon with Mia in it. And I'm like, no, please don't. She does not want to be your friend. And so the dog is running towards the wagon. So I have to run towards the wagon as well. Anyways, the lady's chasing the dog now. And I'm like, hey, by the way, when you do catch your dog, if you want this fixed, this is actually what I do for a living. I help people fix this kind of stuff with their dog. And I was like, the funny thing about it is I hear about this all the time, but I don't get to see it all the time, you know, because we've talked on the podcast before, you know. I get to see dogs be bad because I'll go in, they'll jump on me and stuff and be hyper. But I'll see people walking their dogs, and their dogs will be pulling and stuff. But I don't get to see them run away every day, you know, like their owners do and bolt out the door and stuff. And this one literally did that. So it was just funny to see. And I guess she got the dog because I finally, at one point, like we were kind of having a nice conversation. The dog wouldn't come to her, and I just grabbed the wagon and started walking away. I was like, hey, call Wonder Dog if you ever need help. So who knows? Maybe she'll call. But I just thought that was funny.
But Mia was a good girl.
She was, yeah. No, she didn't. She
stayed
wasn't
in the wagon that
dog.
she dislikes.
Yeah. I think she likes the wagon more than she likes not going on walks, but.
Absolutely. But yeah, you're right. Her brain is so active.
Yeah.
And it's her body.
Yeah.
Tell everybody what you said earlier about Mia and myself.
What did I say? You know I have short-term memory.
Something about not only has your dog got crazy legs, but your assistant has as well. So there's 2 crazy legs in your life.
2 drunken sailors.
2 drunken.
Okay.
It's too bad.
We should start the show.
We
All right.
should. Too much fun.
So we're talking today about how to calm dogs down overall. So that's kind of the big picture. So how to calm your dog down. And so we're starting with why dogs are hyper in the first place. And I think it's important to understand that. And this podcast episode actually goes out to Zanetta and her dog named Tux, because she just called me earlier today and was asking how does she get her dog to calm down. And her dog's too smart for his own good. He's very cute, very good boy, but too smart for his own good and hyper. And so she was asking me like stuff to do in the house. She doesn't feel like she's doing enough, things like that. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a whole podcast for you. So Tux, you are the inspiration behind this show.
There we go.
He's also super cute. Fun little story about Tux, actually. I was telling her this on the phone. He's still a baby though. He's like probably 5.5, 6 months old. So he's still excited piece. And I came in last week and we had 3 puppy-ish dogs, like 4.5, 5, 6 months, like somewhere in that age range. It was 3 puppies, and the 2 adult dogs called in that day. So those dogs didn't come. So it was just 3 puppies that were here that day. And anyway, so I go see Tux, and he was real nervous when he first met me. But now when he sees me walk in the building, he's like, "Oh my God, the dog guy's here!"
Trainer man.
Yeah. And so I walk over to him, and he jumps on me, and despite me being a trainer, I actually don't really care if dogs jump on me too bad. Sometimes it's annoying, but this one's very cute. Anyways, he jumps on me, but he's so excited. He's just pissing all over my leg. His little tail's just wiggling, his body's wiggling, and I look down and he's just peeing all over my leg. And I'm like, Tux, what the heck, man? Why are you peeing all over me? So I had to like grab him off the wall, move him to a different spot. Like then I had to mop up. It was just a mess, but very cute. So this goes out to Tux. Okay, so why are dogs hyper in the first place? So and I've got 3 kind of things here. So number 1, the big one I would say is these are, I guess, specific problems, but the third one, I guess, is probably the kind of overarching one. But number 1 is the dog's not being really physically stimulated. So what does that mean? The dog's not being exercised enough, not being ran enough, walked enough, things like that, right? So the dog is lacking in physical exercise, which leads to like dogs being over energetic, things like that. That energy has to go somewhere. And the same thing for point number 2, they're not being mentally stimulated. So they're not being mentally exercised enough. Their brain's not being challenged, things like that. Those 2 things normally happen in tandem. Yeah, it normally happens where the dog is physically and mentally understimulated, which builds up like a lot of tension and, you know, anxiety and energy and things like that. And that like energy has to go somewhere, right? Like energy has to go somewhere. And so I always say we can either decide where it goes and be productive about it, or we can not be productive about it and the dog will decide where it goes. And normally dogs do things that we don't like when they decide what to do with their energy, right? And so those are kind of the 2, I guess, kind of big ones. The third one is that you have a genetically hyper dog. So you think breeds that are bred to work, right? So labs, border collies, German shepherds, corgis, healers, terriers, things like that, right? Insert any other breed there that's born with a working purpose, right? A lot of these dogs are working dogs, and some of this hyperness has been like bred out over the years. And as we've bred dogs, it's kind of watered down the energy level and the hyper level and the working level and stuff like that. Like there's a very big difference between like a working line German Shepherd and a pet German Shepherd. There's very different dogs. Both great dogs, very different dogs though, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Border collies, for the most part, though, it's like all border collies want to herd stuff, you know, like, and despite growing up with them, I'm not super familiar with like, if there's like, I know there's definitely working line ones and like show line ones and stuff, but regardless, doesn't really matter. If you get a border collie, they want to herd stuff, right? Yeah. And Tux is a German Shepherd border collie mix. So he's just a lot of dog, right? And so anyways, all that being said, you've got dogs that are bred to work. They're genetically like hyper. They've got to be doing something, right? And they need to be worked. And then we don't give them a job, right? To some degree, we don't give them a job.
Yeah.
And so, like I just said, if we don't give the dog a job, they're going to find a job.
Find one.
Yeah. And normally them finding a job is all the stuff that we don't like them doing.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's kind of, I would say, overall, the big kind of problem. And then from there, then you get into like separate problems where it's just like, okay, well, then the next problem is like dogs are kind of live in a series of boxes, right? They live in the house box, the backyard box, the crate box, or the laundry room box, right? Wherever they actually sleep. And then whenever they do finally get to go somewhere, they get in the car box. And then whenever they're finally out of the house, they're tied to a 6-foot rope, right? And so it's like, they're always confined to some degree, right? For the most part, unless you've got like a truly off-leash dog, which if you want one, call Wonder Dog. We can help with that. Yeah. But Yeah, we've got these dogs that live in series boxes and they're tied to a rope, and it's like, well, we wonder why the dog pulls. Or we put the dog up and the dog's too hyper, but then we let the dog out and the dog's more hyper because they've just been locked up in a box, right? And so it's kind of just this cascading, like, bad cycle of things like that, right? And so how do we stop that cycle? Well, training, stimulation, exercise, physical stimulation, and mental stimulation, right? The other category there would be maturity. Normally, when I'm saying, like, what are three things equal a trained dog? It's training, stimulation, maturity. Training, what to do, what not to do. Stimulation, mental, physical. Maturity's age, right? We can control two of the three variables. So, anyways, all that being said, that's kind of the overarching problem as to what's wrong with dogs today. Any comments on that?
I was just thinking of Sully with him being a retriever, because, of course, they're a working dog. Sully is not a working dog.
Sully's not a working dog.
No. But he adapted to my situation really quickly.
Right.
And spends a lot of time, like, laying next to me. And he's got a good routine, so he'll get exercise when it's not exercise, but he'll be outside playing.
Right.
And then we go out walking, and he knows when we go. But most of the time...
And Sully's the type of dog, you take him on a walk, he just plops after he's done.
Toast. Bambi on the kitchen floor.
We took him to shoot some ads a while back, and I was like, we need to find Talent One some shade. Talent One needs some shade. So, like, if he gets too hot, and it's fall here in Memphis, like, it wasn't even hot that day, but I'm like, if he gets too hot, he's just toast. He's not doing anything. He's just going to plop down and be a bump.
Heat is not his best friend.
Yeah.
But
there are working line golden retrievers, though. There's still very much working line golden retrievers. I would say Sully's definitely on the pet quality side of golden retriever.
Sully's job is to be as close to me as possible.
Yeah, and that's actually, I'm glad you said that. That's one thing I told Zanetta earlier was like, hey, the first job of a house dog is be a good member of the household. Like, that's job number one. So, like, before we, teach them anything else, it's like that, and that's training, right? So it's what to do, what not to do, right? Anyways, overall. So that's why dogs are hyper and kind of the overall problem with dogs today. Now, I talked about the base three, which I guess we just kind of talked about, but there's kind of three things that equal a trained dog. So number one, training. So teaching your dog what to do and what not to do. Second is stimulation. So that splits off into mental and physical. And then there's maturity. So for this section, we kind of talk about the base three in terms of training your dog every day, physically exercising your dog every day, and mentally exercising your dog every day, right? So train your dog. We recommend 20 minutes a day here at Wonder Dog. So this could be either finding, like, a new skill or a skill that your dog already knows and working on it and teaching them, like, it could be a skill your dog already knows. So it's like teaching them what to do, what not to do, finding a skill, improving a skill they already know, taking it to the next level, increasing distractions, things like that, right? That's training. The second one is physically exercising your dog. I typically recommend one time a day at minimum. This could be a walk, could take your dog for a run, could be to play and fetch with your dog, could be whatever, insert anything. The example I put was walk your dog at least once a day. Third one is work out your dog's mind one time a day. And we're going to give you practical examples of all this stuff in a little bit, but put your dog's food in a puzzle toy and let them work to get their food out. That's one way you can mentally exercise your dogs. It's something they've got to do every day, got to eat. Dogs aren't going to let themselves starve. So we can put it in some sort of toy where they got to work for it. That's like a very simple way that doesn't require much effort on the human's part to teach your dog to physically mentally work themselves out. So those are kind of like the base three things. And if you notice, I didn't put anything about maturity on there. That's age, that's time. We can't really control that. We could kind of like artificially mature a dog through training and stuff like that. But at the same time, and I guess training does mature dogs to a degree, but at the same time, it's like there's a difference between like a 6-month-old trained dog and a 2-year-old dog, right? There's in terms of its energy, competence, things like that, right? So anyways, those are kind of the base three. You got anything on that?
We've got this toy that Sully should nudge it, and it makes a horrendous noise. It makes, like Mia's ball that she loves, that does a squeak. We've got one and it rolls and deposits food as it goes along.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But Sully just waits for Lenny to do it, and then he eats the food. That's how lazy he is. But yeah, they're really good.
He's really lazy unless he's running the neighbor's backyard. That's funny. I'll let you read off the practical ones, and then I'll just comment on it. So the third thing that we were going to talk about on this episode is practical stuff you can do with your dog, so like physical and mental stuff. And so, I'll let you read these out, and then I'll just kind of comment on them and talk on them.
So the physical, like you've just mentioned, train your dog 20 minutes a day.
Yeah, so I'll just break this down one more time. So training your dog 20 minutes a day. Once again, this is working on a new skill. So we start with the basics here. So sit, lay down, go to bed, stay, walk on leash nicely, loose leash and heel. That's what I mean by that. Come when called, leave it, and then password. Password being like, don't go out the door till you're told, don't jump out of the car till you're told, stay on your bed till you're told, don't get on the furniture till you're told, things like that. Those are the basic commands that we teach here. So I'd say start with those. And then from there, you could take that infinite direction. So it's like, those are all basics, but then add in some distractions. Okay, so I'm going to sit before you go out the door, sit at the street corner, sit and wait, wait till you're told to jump out of the car. Recall. Okay, start with recall in the backyard, then start with recall at the front yard, then take them to a park where it's quiet, then add in some distractions. Walking. I'm going to start with walking in the neighborhood when it's a quieter part of the neighborhood, earlier in the morning, later at night. Then I'm going to do it a little bit where it's busier time. Then I'm going to take them out in public, things like that, right? So then you can start ramping up the distraction. So either find a new skill to teach your dog or increase one of the skills they currently have, basically. That's kind of the idea.
Get the family involved as well.
Yeah, that'd work.
Then you can do more than 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. And then walking your dog at least once a day.
Yeah. Walking is just one of those like classic ways to get your dog's energy out that I really like. It's nice because you get the dog out of the house. They get to go sniffing. They get to go potty.
Now, we've got a really good one on sniffy walks and exercise walks.
We do, yeah.
So you need to bring that up about what the difference is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we did an episode not too long ago called The Difference Between Sniff Walks and Exercise Walks. Let me see.
And of course you can combine both, but sniffy walks are not.
Yeah. It was 3 months ago. So yeah, it's called The Difference. Sniff walks versus exercise walks. What's the difference?
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, take your dog on a walk every day. It's really easy. A bonus here is like, especially if you got like a smart dog, is make your dog walk 80% of the time at heel, 20% of the time at loose leash. So loose leash, of course, being walking out ahead of you, sniffing, peeing, pooping, things like that, right? Heeling would be, of course, walking with your dog right next to you, right? So yeah, I would say those would be a couple good ways to get your dog to start working on this kind of stuff. Just something practical you can do with your dog every day. It's also good for you. Get outside, see the sunlight, touch grass.
Also, because we've just been through all this heat, there's also the vest that you can put on them, isn't there? For walking and exercise, the weighted vest.
Funny enough, that's on the list.
Is it really?
Yeah,
See,
it's the
I
last
didn't
one on
didn't even look
list.
at the notes because that's something else. Well, that's coming up in a moment then.
Yeah. Speaking of the heat, though, I had an appointment with a lady back here, I guess sometime last week, and she's like, yeah, listen to your heat episode a little bit too late. She's like, I walked my dog on the asphalt or on the concrete every day this summer. And I was like, yeah, I'm like, and she felt real bad about it. I was like, hey, look, like, I get it. Like, you don't know though, unless you know, and so that's the whole point of us trying to put out clips, doing an annual, like, it's hot outside episode. Here's what to pay attention to. We've only done 2 years in a row, but we'll keep doing them every year just to try to help people and spread the message even more.
If we change one person at a time, we're doing something right.
Look, we can't save every dog's paws,
yeah,
but the ones that we can, we will. Come on.
Absolutely.
Amen. All right.
Okay, so the next one is if the dog has drive and likes to chase and bite and play, use a flirt pole to engage the dog's drive and wear him or her out.
Yeah, so there's a lot of dogs that this works really well for. So a flirt pole is basically just like a 3 or 4 foot and you can make one or you can buy one. The one that we use, you can get on Amazon. I think it's a Squishy Face brand. That's the brand. It's called Squishy Face. But it's like a 3 or 4 foot pole. It's got like 5 or 6 foot rope on it. The rope that we have on ours is a kind of bungee. And then it's got like a little rope toy at the end that's spread out. It's got some squeakers in it. It's a ton of fun. This is nice because you can literally just stand still, spin in a circle, bob it, weave it, things like that. And your dog will go crazy for it. They will have a ton of fun doing it, chasing it, biting at it, things like that. And it, mimics just prey. It mimics, if your dog has high drive, and by that I meant high prey drive, likes to chase things, like to bite things, like to fetch things like that. They like to chase toys. This is nice because you just stand in a circle, stand up, spin in a circle, spin back and forth and stuff like that. And your dog gets to chase the toy and bite on it and fight on it. And then once they got it, you can work your way down the rope and play tug with them and stuff like that. Great way to get your dog's energy out. And it doesn't take that much effort on the human part. Because like one of the things I like to maximize is like, okay, what's the least I can do to get the most, right? How can I get my dog the most worn out without me having to go walk 7 miles a day, right? Yeah. So anyways, this kind of helps out with that.
And you can play, what do you call it? Is it doggy ping pong or something where?
Yeah. I don't think I actually have that on the list, but yeah, we'll put it on there.
Okay. Explain to everyone what the doggy ping pong is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So doggy ping pong's another game you can play with your dog, and you could argue that it's mental. Some of these you could argue they're mental and physical. I'm just putting them more in the physical category because I'd say it has more of a physical benefit than a mental benefit. But puppy ping pong or doggy ping pong is basically where like you and another member of the household or friend, family member, something like that, y'all stand in a yard, field, something like that, spread out in the house, could be in the house too. Doesn't really matter. But you spread out and then you call the dog back and forth. So Sully, come. Sully comes to me. I give Sully a treat. Then Sally calls Sully.
Sully, come.
He zooms over. Then she gives him a treat. Then I call him. Then she calls him, right? And if you spread out real far, the dog is learning like, one, hey, if I hear my name and come, I go to that person, I get a snack. Normally, dogs that are very excited about food will run really fast. And so it's a great way to get their energy out because they're running. And if you got a big backyard or a big field or a big floor plan or something like that, you can really spread out and get your dog real worn out and nice and tired. But it's got double benefits. It's got a couple benefits. So number one, it's getting the dog physically worn out. Two, it's teaching them a command. And I guess you could argue that it's working out their brain too. Yeah. And then once they get the hang of it, then you can start adding another command. So Sully he comes, then I get him to sit and lay down. And then I get him to stay for a second. Then I feed him. Then Sally calls him, right? And so we just start working on all these things. And so we can have a lot of fun with the dog and wear the dog out at the same time. So that's puppy ping pong. That's another game.
And you're not wearing yourself out.
You're not wearing yourself out. Once again, the least you get the most.
There you go. Okay, take your dog to doggy daycare.
Yeah, this is one that's costs money, but if it's low effort in the sense that you can take your dog there. Your dog goes and plays all day and they come home worn out, you know? Some trainers are into daycare. Some trainers aren't. Some people are. Some people aren't. Dog owners. I don't really care. If you like doggy daycare, take your dog. If you don't take them. I don't really care. It's up to you. You get to do what you want to.
Absolutely.
But, you know, it's nice because you get to pay somebody else to wear your dog out. I guess in the same vein, you could argue like hire a dog walker or something like that. So I'm going to write that down too, put that on the list. I knew this wasn't when I wrote all this down originally when I was planning the show. I knew it wasn't an exhaustive list, but just stuff I was coming up with off the top of my head while I was typing it all out. But yeah, take your dog to doggy daycare or hire a dog walker. I mean, you can outsource your dog exercise these days. You get on rover.com, hire somebody to come over 30, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, take your dog on a walk. And your dog has fun. They get to meet a new person, get to have fun, get to go get their exercise in, things like that. But you could hire a dog walker as well.
Very beneficial.
Yeah.
Okay, play fetch with your dog.
Yeah, if your dog likes to play fetch, this is great. This has always been my favorite way to play with Mia. Just go to a field, get a tennis ball, get a chuck it, launch the tennis ball, let the dog go chase it. Ton of fun. Great way to get your dog's energy out. And if they like it, clearly it's a fun thing for them too. Mia will literally do it till she drops. So we have to, well, now she's a lot calmer. But when she was younger, she would literally do it until she could kill herself. Yeah, so I had to be real careful about.
You got bored of it before she did.
Oh, yeah, especially in the wintertime, which is where the X-Dog vest comes in, which we'll get to in a little bit. But yeah, I would say that's a huge one. That's one of the things I told Tux's owner a little bit earlier. I was like, he probably would love learning how to play Frisbee and like fetch Frisbee and stuff. I will say when the dogs are a little younger, like sub a year, you want to do rollers if you're teaching your dog to play Frisbee. Like you don't want them really catching the air and stuff just because their hips. You don't want them like jumping and spinning all sorts of crazy, landing on their hips a bunch and stuff like that. So I would say just take it easy in regards to that. So do rollers where they're, catching rollers and stuff like that. But overall,
sounds
very
good.
Fun activity and they really like it.
Yep. And then find a dog sport for the dog.
You skipped one, but that's okay.
Did I? Oh, go to the dog park. I did skip one.
Yeah. This is free doggy daycare, basically. But basically, once again, a lot of trainers don't like dog parks. A lot of owners don't like dog parks. A lot of trainers do like dog parks. A lot of owners like dog parks. I'm kind of neutral in the middle. I'm not taking my dog to one. But if you want to.
I'm not.
Yeah, if you want to, take your dog. That's a way that they can go play with other dogs. Hopefully, ideally, they're all, friendly and clean and healthy and stuff like that. But you can take your dog there. They can go run, play, things like that. There's a ton of owners who take their dog. They get a ton of benefit from it.
Yeah.
And then their dog gets home and their dog's tired. So you're kind of outsourcing your exercise to other dogs. Take some time on your end. It's free, though. Unless you go to like a paid dog park, which they do have those these days, too. But
do they?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think there's a local suburb here in town that you have to have a membership to go to it. It's owned by the municipality, but it's like you have to pay like $10 a month or something to actually go to it. And then like dog bars, that's like a paid dog park.
Yeah.
It's a bar, but it's a dog park.
Yeah.
And I think there's just paid dog parks. Like there's one that opened in Cairville a while back. I think it got bought up by somebody, some big company, but that was like a paid dog park. That's kind of the idea. It's like he wanted to like screen all the dogs that came in, have a big field for them to play in and stuff like that. So I don't know how the business is doing. I haven't been over there, but
I could see the benefit in that, but
yeah,
something for everyone.
yeah, for sure.
Gotcha.
So anyways, but free way to exercise your dog.
Yeah.
Comes with some risk. Just comes with some risk just because you don't know who's there. You don't know what dogs are there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah. My concern with dog parks are owners that just like let their dogs go and don't really pay attention to what they're up to.
right.
That's my biggest fear with that.
Repeat that. I wasn't paying attention. Sorry, I was looking at a thing on
Okay.
YouTube. One of our podcasts.
My fear of dog parks are owners that go, just let the dogs go, but don't pay attention to what they're up to.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my worry.
Yeah. Very real concern. For sure.
So
Yeah.
go at your own risk.
I'm sure there's somebody out there that's been like, oh, I could just leave my dog at the dog park for a little bit. And they just like go. I'm sure that's happened before somewhere. I've never heard of that, but I'm sure that's happened before somewhere.
I bet.
Yeah.
Okay, so go back to the one that I jumped to before this one. So find a dog sport for the dog.
Yeah. Let me pull up a list of examples, but the first one I think of would be like what Mia used to be into, which is like disc dog. She used to do Frisbee competitions back in the day. Yeah, I would say, okay. Hold on one second. Continue. What's happening here? Okay. Why don't you talk while I'm doing this?
Okay, I'll talk. So you know my slip up when I said pool instead of pole? Put the dog in, they have like a sport where they launch themselves into the pool.
That's on the list of sports, actually.
There you go. But if you're fortunate enough to have a pool,
I just actually added swimming to the list.
Yeah,
because I'm like, man, that's such a good way to go to get the dog worn out, and especially during the summertime too. Like, man, Mia loves it. I'm just gonna list off a handful of dog sports that you can get into, and they have these like all over the place and stuff. You just have to find like the niche little group in your town that does it. I look it up on Facebook, like dog sport name Memphis, dog sport name Nashville, whatever it is, because there's a large group of people that have these hobbies for their dogs and stuff. And you just have to find it. So, dog sports would include dog agility, dock diving. That's the one that agility. I'll give a brief description, but agility, jumping over stuff, hoops, tunnels, seesaws, things like that, right? That's dog agility. There might be some classes in your local area. Dock diving, that's the one where they're on the dock. They throw the toy, the dog runs and jumps and gets it and stuff. Disc dog, I've already talked about that one.
Yeah.
Fly ball, that one's really fun. That's where they're running and jumping over little jumps. They hit their thing on their feet on the pad. The ball shoots out. They catch it. They run back. It's like a relay race for dogs, basically. I've only seen videos, never seen it in person. Lure coursing. I don't think I actually know what that one is. Sport where dogs that involve chasing mechanically operated lure. Okay, that'd basically be like they're pulling something and the dog's chasing after it, basically. Scent work, rally. That's like an obedience trial. Those are fun. Herding, especially like finding like a little herding club if you've got like a collie or not a shepherd, maybe a shepherd, I suppose, but like a collie, a healer, something like that. Man, finding like a little herding club or something like that, man, your dog would absolutely love that. Tracking, fast cat, that's like who can run the fastest. Barn hunt is one that I've never seen in person, but I've heard about before. It seems like a lot of fun. It's basically where they go like search barns for like, they go search like hay bales for like a rat in a tube or something like that, like a dead rat in a tube. I don't know, it might be alive. I don't know. But basically they have to go find the rat or whatnot. And it's like, I think it's a timed competition, ton of fun, all sorts of stuff. So like there's all sorts of stuff that you can do with your dog that seems like a lot of fun. And like I said, if you're interested in that and like you want to have a hobby with your dog, and that's not an exhaustive list, there's way more on here. I'm just not doing all of them. But if you want to find one of those things, man, go look for them. They're everywhere.
Absolutely. And pick one that is specific to your breed as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say that. You put a lab in herding class, it's probably not going to go very good, but you put a lab and
something
maybe you don't want to be a duck
sniffy.
hunter. Yeah, maybe you don't want to be a duck hunter, but maybe you could teach your lab, how to retrieve something, some stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So definitely play to the genetics of the dog and the working purpose
Lots
of the dog.
of good sniffies.
Yeah, for sure. Anyways, that's a few. But
Okay.
if you want to have a hobby, pick a dog sport for your dog and just make it a fun thing.
And then get an X-Dog vest for walks and workouts so the dog does get worn out a lot faster.
Yeah, so the X-Dog vest is really great. It's basically a harness that your dog wears, and it's got little pockets on the side of it that you put you fill up the little packets with like BBs or sand or something like that. Your dog carries a small percentage of its body weight. And it basically just helps the dog get worn out faster. There's some other benefits, like not only they get worn out faster, but they get in shape, build muscle mass, things like that, right? So there's some other benefits to it too. The biggest one for me though that I've always found is just it wears your dog out a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Great for fall, winter months, early
weather's
spring,
not
things
good.
like that. You want to avoid using them when it's too hot, of course. But now the new ones, you can actually put ice packs on it, like on the inside to cool down the dog's like core temperature and stuff, or hot packs and stuff. So those are really cool. But yeah, they've got some other fun accessories too. You can buy like a little parachute for the back of it. So whenever your dog runs, this parachute inflates. So it's like pulling against resistance and stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Funny enough, the owner of that company is actually the reason that I started feeding Mia raw food. He was the one that put out the troll post that was like, yeah, of course, food, corn should be the number one ingredient in dog food, right? And then I was, and all those comments about corn being in dog food, I was like, yeah, no, this doesn't make any sense to me. No, I'm not going to do that. So that's actually his post. The guy that owns the X-Dog Vest is the reason that I started feeding Mia raw food.
Wonderful.
But anyways, that's a great product. Highly
Yeah.
recommend. Very helpful.
Yeah.
I think you want to make sure your dog's like a year old at a minimum though to get one, because you don't want to put one on like a 6-month-old puppy. Once again, they're developing muscles, joints, bones, things like that, structure. So I would wait till your dog's a year old to actually use one. But great product.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to mental. Put the dog's
real quick, I was going to add one more. We talked about it, but if you have a pool, take your dog swimming. Great way to work out your dog, especially in the summertime. Ton of fun. Ton of fun. So I'd say just do that if you got a pool.
Work those muscles.
Okay, now mental.
So put the dog's food in a puzzle toy and let them work to get their food out.
Yeah, we've talked about this a number of times, but today and in previous episodes. But yeah, I mean, your dog has got to eat every day. And so it's like if you just put a bowl down, even a slow feeder, your dog is going to snatch up their food very fast, So if you're feeding like classic kibble, man, put it in a toy that your dog's got to knock around, and like little kibbles will fall out every now and then. They got to use their nose to find them and clean up after themselves and stuff.
Yep.
Ton of fun. Take your dog 20, 30 minutes to eat where it would regularly take them like 2 or 3 minutes to eat. It buys you some time where your dog's doing something. They're focused on something else. And trust me, if your dog doesn't like it, give them half a day or a day and they're going to start knocking it out. Yeah, they're going to start knocking the food out of it because they're like, man, I'm hungry. I want to eat some food. So they'll start doing it. But that's a great way to, like I said, just buy yourself some time as a human to, hey, I got to do a load of laundry. I got to put some clothes up. Let me, I don't want to put the dog up. I don't want to put them outside. It's dinner time. Hey, let me put their food in this thing. And it'll take up 20, 30 minutes of their time.
Yeah. And then there's also the puzzle toys themselves where you hide the food just as a game rather than using their meal.
Yeah. I think if I'm being honest, I don't think those things work as well as trainers give them credit for. This is my first time saying that, but I've been thinking this for a while. I don't think because as soon as the dog figures it out, they've got it.
I must admit, fortunately, I got my puzzle from the Dollar Tree. So it was $1 back then. And Lenny, I've not used it on Sully, but Lenny got it within minutes.
Yeah.
Because he has to lift the top off.
Yeah.
So he lifts it and then like blobs it out and eats, and then now it takes me longer to fill it than it does for him to empty it.
I thought whatever you were about to say, and I thought you were about to say, fortunately, I have dumb dogs.
No, I've got a very smart Lenny and a lazy Sully.
Sully just be looking at what?
Lazy's like,
what?
Sully's like,
What?
What? And then he'll go, Lenny, take this off for me.
That's funny. But yeah, I think they're fun. And I think if you've got some extra money to spend, why not buy a puzzle toy?
They're very expensive.
The feeder bowl toys, though, are definitely a lot more bang for your buck because they've got this big Kong toy where you screw the bottom off of it, flip it over, you can put all their food in it, put the top back on it. It's, got a hole on it about yay big where kibbles will come out of it and stuff like that. That's way more bang for your buck because
it is.
Your dog, there's no figuring it out. There's no hack. They've got to knock it around, roll it around to get the food to fall out of it, period.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you've got a really small dog with small kibbles, you can duct tape half of the hole where it drops out less kibbles or something like that. But I don't think the puzzle toys are all that.
I think they're way too expensive for what you get from them.
Yeah, because like I said, once the dog figures it out. But it's fun. So if you got some extra money, try it out. But I would definitely say I'm going to stop recommending that, basically, unless people just want to do it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Or if you can get one from the dollar store, then it's worth it. But I wouldn't pay $20 for it.
No.
So, yeah.
Okay, next.
Yep. Hide and go seek.
Yeah. This is one I recommended to Tux's owner earlier, and she's like, we're already doing that. And she's like, it's just too easy for him. And I was like, make it harder. So hide and go seek is it's as it sounds. It's where you go hide in the house and the dog has to use their nose to find you, basically.
Yeah. Or hide treats.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought I was about to sneeze.
What I used to do with Lenny, because Lenny's good at this as well, I used to walk around with the treat and then hide it.
Yeah.
And he actually followed like my path, which was, and then got zoned in on it.
Yeah, for sure. But the kind of quick version how I do this, I guess it would require 2 people or your dog to have a pretty good stay command. If you didn't have a second person, but just get your dog to stay, have somebody else hold your dog on a leash or something like that. Tease your dog up with some snacks or something like that. Turn, run, walk away, go to the other room, hide. I'd say make it an easy hiding place at first. Tell the other person to, you can call the dog's name a little bit, have the person say, find him, find her, whoever it is. Search, whatever, let the dog go, let the dog find you. Once they do, give them some snacks. And then just kind of do that over and over again. I'd say if you want to make it harder, hide further and further away. And then also add distance or time to how long the dog has to wait to actually go find you. Because if you, run out of the room, let the dog go, they're just going to go where you went. That's what we would call in like search and rescue, like a hot track or a hot trail. A warm trail would be where there's some time that's elapsed between where you went and where the dog is. A cold trail would be you just give the dog a starting place and then they go find you, right? Yeah. With a scent article. So I'd say in this case, just make it a little harder. Make it like where the dog has to like work a little bit to find you and stuff like that. Yeah. So that would be what I would say for hide and go seek though. But it's a ton of fun. Your dog's running around. They're using their nose. They're getting food. It's a ton of fun. I'd say do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Oh, play find it with kibbles in the yard.
Yeah, if you don't want to buy a feeder bowl toy and you just want to use your yard, you could take your dog's food and kind of spread it out in the yard, and then your dog has to sniff around through the grass to find it. Pretty easy, takes up a lot of brain power. Once again, dogs aren't going to let themselves go hungry, so they're going to find it. But yeah, this is a pretty cheap and easy way to get your dog to buy yourself some time, where your dog has to go use their brain and their nose and stuff like that, and they've got to eat their food too.
Nice. I need to try that one. Okay.
Put it in the neighbor's yard.
I'm sure my neighbour will be really thrilled because they don't have pets. That's very strange, isn't it? Don't have pets. But anyway, so Sully held him hostage in his own yard. Next one, chew outlets. So frozen Kongs, bully sticks, raw meaty bones.
Yeah, so this is kind of what it sounds like. Basically, like dogs like chewing stuff up. If your dog's definitely a chewer, one, have toys around, but just give your dog something that is going to take up their time. So frozen Kong, that'd be like a Kong toy. Of course, it's, the toy that's got, 3 rings or whatnot, kind of get smaller as they go up. And then there's a big hole in the middle, and you can put some peanut butter in there, whatever. They make Kong refillables and stuff. You can put whatever you want to in there, but then freeze it. The reason you'd freeze it is because it's going to take your dog longer to unthaw it with their tongue. And it's harder to get to. Takes a little. It's not harder to get to, but it takes a little bit longer for your dog to actually get through it, right? So yeah, I would say that would be one. Bully sticks. If your dog's a chewer and they like bones and stuff like that, bully sticks are great. I give Mia one most days of the month. They just like chewing on stuff. We use cow hoofs a lot here. Cow hoofs are really great. Pig ears are good too. Raw meaty bones. I don't know what they actually mean by that, but sure, that works too.
Stay away from rawhide.
Yeah, I've heard that a bunch.
Because it doesn't digest apparently.
Yeah, I've heard that a bunch too. Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah, give your dog stuff to chew on. They'd like it. They'd appreciate it.
Perfect. Good stress reliever.
Yep.
Okay. Place training.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of as it sounds. It's basically just teaching your dog to go lay down somewhere and stay as a way to kind of like self-soothe. I'm not going to get into how to place and stay train a dog here just because we're kind of running long already. But yeah, teach your dog to go lay down and stay somewhere on a dog bed, part of the couch, ottoman, something like that. Hey, go lay down and stay. We've probably talked about that on a previous episode. So yeah, but I'd say train that. That'd be good. Just teach your dog, hey, go lay down, chill, be still for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd say this is more mental than physical, clearly, because they're not moving around. But they have to think, I got to stay, got to stay, got to stay, got to stay. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
so
matter what the distraction is, got to stay.
Right.
Okay.
Take some time, but you can do it, and it'll be good for you.
Yeah. Beneficial.
I'd say that's actually one of the biggest benefits of the day train program that we offer is just teaching dogs to just be calm.
Yeah.
Yeah, just be calm.
Absolutely. Okay, tools and extras.
Yeah, the first one here is just ignore bad and hyper behaviors as much as possible. Yeah, and I wrote this a long time ago and kind of copied and pasted off of one of our like private company websites. I would say, yes, ignore bad and hyper behaviors as much as possible, but I'd also add now probably correct those behaviors, as well, in addition to just ignoring them. Yeah, so correct the bad behaviors, reward the good behaviors. That's probably what I'd add now.
Yeah.
Sleep routine. I was, kind of doing some research before this too, and I got this one online, but I would tend to agree with it. It just says many hyperdogs are actually overtired or living without structure. I do agree that a lot of dogs live without structure, and structure to me would be training, teaching your dog what to do, not do, rules, manners, boundaries, things like that. And then the exercise piece, that would be structure to me, giving your dog's day a routine, generally speaking. It says puppies especially need 18 to 20 hours of sleep each day. Emphasize rest as part of calming. You could do that in the crate, playpen, play something like that. Just teach your dog, like, hey, go relax, go lay down, right? And then last one's kind of just owner energy. So dogs often mirror us. So if we're calm, dogs are likely to be calmer. If we're hyper and wound up, dogs are more likely to be wound up. And I can definitely attest to that with my own dog. That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I got a couple more notes, but we'll skip over those for now. They're kind of smaller stuff that we've kind of already talked about. There's one more on here, and it's supplements. And I will say, normally on like the private company website that we have that has all of our trainings on it and stuff, when I'm talking about like what equals a trained dog, I've already said it on this episode, but training, stimulation, maturity, and there's a fourth one that's optional, and that's supplements. So if you've got a dog that is anxious, stressed, fearful, things like that, you could try some sort of calming chew. I'm more of like a let's go holistic path. So like, yeah, CBD gummies for the dog, not gummies, but like CBD treats or whatever it is. The little brownie thingies that you can get the dog, whatever it is, just like some sort of calming aid to help calm your dog down. I'd say typically it's going to help out with like stress and anxiety and fear and stuff like that. But I think a lot of dogs are often overdiagnosed with like stress, anxiety, things like that, when it's a working dog that's understimulated, underexercised, undertrained, things like that, doesn't have any structure, rules, manners, things like that. And I think that those things, the lack of those things, makes the dog anxious because they're looking for something and they're not getting it. So I'd say try all this stuff first before you go talk to somebody about supplements.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, that's it. But overall, I'd say that's a pretty good picture on how to calm your dog down.
That's good.
I hope that helps people out.
It should.
Yeah, I hope that does.
Yeah.
Just because, I know that's a big problem. I mean, that's
It is.
what a lot of people come to us about is
a
their
lot
dogs
of
are hyper.
times that I speak to people on the telephone, and again, it's another you don't know until you know.
Right.
But many people are like, they're out at work for long hours. The dog is crated or put in a pen.
Right.
They come home. The dog's excited to see them. They think
It's the most exciting thing that's happened to the dog all day by
the
far.
dog's been waiting all day for you to come home. But you're exhausted because you've had a very busy day, whether it's physical or mental. And you don't really want to deal with your dog. And then it becomes frustrating.
Yeah.
But it's really not the dog's fault.
It's not.
So.
Yeah. So anyways, overall, folks, that's kind of the big way to kind of calm your dog down. So I hope you got a lot of value out of this episode. Hope you learned something new. Hope it's something that can kind of help you out. Oh, hello, Mia. I hope it's something that can help you out with your dog. Or if you know somebody that's got a hyper dog, share this with them. I think a lot of people could benefit from this. I know this will be an asset that we send to people all the time now moving forward now that we've got it created. So yeah, and thank you to Zanetta and Tux for the idea. So thank you guys. Trivia question of the week was which dog breed has the longest ears on record, measuring over 13 inches each? You said it was in the hound group. Do you know what kind of hound?
I'm thinking bloodhound.
On fire,
right? Because I was thinking basset hound, and then
that's what I thought too.
But then I'm thinking, no, bloodhound is big, a bigger and.
I gotta say, at Search and Rescue one time, I've only met him once, maybe twice. There was one that was like, this dude had he had an HVAC company and his back seat was taken out, and that's where the dog rode, and it was like in the whole back seat area. He could literally be standing up with his head out the window. He was the biggest one I've ever seen. I mean, he was massive. He was so big, and he was a manhunter. I mean, he lived up to it. He was a bloodhound. He was a manhunter. I mean, it was the craziest thing. But yeah, nope, that's the trivia answer today. So good job, Sally. So that's the trivia answer of the week, folks. Watch out. Hey. I swear, is this? No, go away. Just go on.
It's like, no, I want to be with Daddy.
I swear, maybe dogs do get more stubborn as they get older. She doesn't listen to nothing. Just kidding. She does, but I'm like, move, man. Get out of the cords. She's like, no, I got to do it at least once per episode.
It's my job.
Yep. Anyways, folks, if you got any value out of today's episode, please share it with a friend, family member, colleague, something like that. If you listen to it, yep, that's where I was headed next. Yep, like the episode. If you're listening, you're not subscribed, please click the subscribe button. It helps me and Sally quite a bit. Our only goal here, once again, is just get good training messaging out to everybody, combat the craziness online that you hear with people about stuff that doesn't work or just completely off base. Combat that with great, good dog training information. So yeah, if you get any value out of it, share it with a friend, family member, colleague, somebody that's got a hyper puppy, something like that. Yeah. That's it. You got anything else to add?
No, that was a great podcast.
Yep. And then, I guess before we get out of here, you can train your dog. You can get your dog trained. You can calm them down. That can bring you some peace. But the only way to true peace is through Christ Jesus. So with that being said, guys, we'll see you on the next episode. And in the meantime, have fun with your dog. Bye.
Bye.